Hi, I'm chopping up some celery for dinner and I wanted to talk about the 1972 John Wayne classic, The Cowboys. It's actually an excellent film. I got the chance to watch this recently. I think I've seen it a long time ago but haven't given it a fresh viewing. And what I thought was so exceptional about the film, it's not just John Wayne in this epic Western. I mean, it really looks good. It's a beautifully filmed movie, the environment, the sets and everything. It's a well-acted movie. But what really works well is seeing John Wayne paired with the music of John Williams. Now that, we're talking John Williams pre-Jaws, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. This is sort of him coming into his larger cinematic sound. This is the 1972 era. This is before Jaws, which I would argue is probably one of his biggest symphonic works in his early career. Well, hearing this with John Wayne was just excellent. And the two just go great together. And the particular version of this film I saw, what I thought was so great is it actually started with musical introduction scene, where before the film even starts, you hear kind of a suite of melodies from the movie. And there was also a intermission segment as well, halfway through the film, obviously, where it was just John Williams music. And I thought that was great. And, you know, filmmakers of today could really take note of something like that, particularly films like The Avengers, with 3 hours long. I don't know why they couldn't put in some intermission music, have Alan Silvestri compose something that could have given people a chance to run to the bathroom halfway through the film. But anyhow, more about the Cowboys. The plot is basically John Wayne needs to do a cattle drive, but he can't find any people to help him out. So he ends up meeting up with his friend Slim Pickens. You remember him from Dr. Strangelove. And he's basically just playing Slim Pickens, kind of this easygoing cowboy character. He and John Wayne, they go to the local school and they recruit about a dozen or so boys. We're talking younger kids, 10 to 14 or so. And they're going to basically recruit these kids in to do the cattle drive with them. So how plausible that is, I don't really know. I mean, we do see that it takes a toll on these kids. I won't give too many details away, but it takes kind of a darker twist as well as they get further along in their mission to drive cattle, across the country. Slim Pickens was in it, and they also had Roscoe Lee Browne, who's always plays this distinguished, eloquent, he's a black actor, and he's one of those actors who I can never really pinpoint one thing I've seen him in, but I'll think, oh, he was in The Cosby Show, or he was in an episode of Columbo, or something like that. So I see him in this movie, and it's like, oh yeah, he's in here. Bruce Dern appears as well, and he plays this really creepy, like, serial killer style outlaw bandit. And he's sort of the nemesis, the foil to John Wayne and these kids. And there was one noteworthy thing about this film is the beginning half of the film, I would say, felt more like a consistent, old-fashioned John Wayne Western. Maybe more like what you would see in like a McClintock, a film like that from the earlier era. But when the bandits start to show up, the film takes a notably darker turn. It almost becomes a little bit uncomfortable at this one scene where Bruce Dern captures one of the kids alone, and he's threatening to kill him, basically, putting a knife to his throat and saying, if you tell anybody about, the fact that we're pursuing you, I'm going to find you and kill you. So beyond that, there's also some gun scenes, some shootouts, and it does take a notably darker turn. Now, maybe I've been watching too many Westerns from like the 40s and 50s, and I'm not used to this. This was 1972. Maybe it was just getting to a different era of filmmaking. But it did feel like the initial part of the film was fine as far as Westerns go, and then it sort of shifts darker as we near the end. Because of that, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this as a family film. Probably by today's standards, this would pass as a PG-13. So if you do decide to watch it, maybe watch it with older kids. But again, the very noteworthy factors of this film would be John Wayne is this old cowboy. He's this old, cynical, seasoned character. Really well played. The sets, the filming, the cinematography, everything's beautiful in this film. And of course, John Williams' music really just sets the environment and everything about the film just perfectly. Won't give the ending away or too many details. You just have to see it, but everything does come to, I think, a nice conclusion. It's a good and satisfying movie. So that's The Cowboys, John Wayne Western from 1972. Thank you.